We await these numbers. I bring in the shareholder, Malcolm Ethridge, to count us down to the close. We got about 3+ minutes to do that. What's on your mind as you await this stock that you own?
Yeah, Scott, I found it interesting that Santoli just framed it as Nvidia versus the rest of the semiconductor index or the semiconductor trade, because if you look at the SOX or the PHLX on a year-to-date basis, both of them are trading more than 3 times the level of return of Nvidia shares. However, the entire semiconductor industry is looking to Nvidia's earnings tonight to sort of support everything else that's been built this year. And so it's not necessarily that their own earnings are going to be important or really supportive of Nvidia's shares going forward. They've really traded up the last 2 or 3 weeks based on the earnings of their customers, basically. But it is going to be necessary for Nvidia to support the rest of the AI trade at large, just with the report that they give us tonight.
I mean, that's what it really has to deal with more, right, is how the rest of the complex trades than necessarily this name, which has already done the lift. It's already up 10% in a month.
Well, not only is it already up, Nvidia typically trades up into the print and then sort of just flatlines from there. And so, I understand the options action was pretty aggressive coming up to today, and it sounds like it's eased back just a little bit. But usually, at least in the last couple of years, we haven't gotten a tremendous amount of movement on the day after this earnings release anyway.
How are you thinking about usage of cash, buybacks, stuff like that? That would be interesting, right?
Yeah, it would be interesting because Nvidia has something like $84 billion, I believe, at least at their last report of expected free cash that they're throwing off, and they can only reinvest so much into R&D and reinvest so much into investing into their next customer or growing their next customer. And so it would make sense that eventually they start to talk about increasing that dividend in addition to the buybacks that they're already doing. But that could be seen as a signal to the market that maybe they've run out of ideas or they're throwing in the towel, so to speak, on figuring out how they're going to invest in the next wave of innovation. So that could be seen as a bit of a double-edged sword.
What about China before we get going? You want some more clarity on what Jensen Huang talked about there, what he may think he can come home with in terms of selling chips there?
I don't think that it's going to matter. I don't even think we consider China to be the icing on the cake anymore, so to speak, if they manage to sell those lesser chips into China like they were hoping to do a while ago. Roughly 4%, I think, of their total revenues are what was expected to come from China. And at this point, I think every analyst and investor has sort of just written that off altogether as a nothing burger.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. We'll have plenty to feast on coming up in just a little bit. Malcolm, thank you.